overdose of medications. But I said that one would delay a bit. I then thought of, why not rat poison? It's going to be slow, but it won't be that painful and it will be short. After some time, I told myself, no, mother, you cannot be having this kind of thoughts. It's not proper. And then on Thursday, this Thursday that passed, I sent a message to some people asking them a hypothetical question. I said, if I happen to die today, what will you do? I sent it to some few persons and they were disturbed, asking me what is wrong. I said nothing, it's just a hypothetical question. It's not like it's going to happen. And they gave me some replies. Others were trying to encourage me because they felt like if I'm asking that kind of question, then there's something really wrong with me. They tried to encourage me. I said, I've heard, but I did not say I want to kill myself. I just said, what will you do today if I happen to die? That was on Thursday. So on Friday morning, that Thursday night, I went to bed, and then I don't know what made me to get up, and then I heard a voice say I should take the anointed water and wash my face with it. I had a bottle of anointed water in the house. I used it and washed my face. I slept. Friday morning, when going to school, around Bunduma, I was in a taxi alone with the driver. And the road was clear. From nowhere, we don't know where this keke came from. And we suddenly realized it was already in front of us. And the driver, I don't know if it was God or he was too sensitive. If he had not actually braked at that moment, then it would have been a different story for me. And people stood on the road. They asked the keke driver where he's coming from, and he said he did not see our car coming. And we did not see him at all because he came from this other, I was going down, he came from this other side, like passed through directly. He said he did not see us, so that is why he passed. We left it and I went to school. When coming back home that same Friday at Sampi Junction there at Okada Park, I wanted to cross the road. I looked up and down, there was no vehicle coming. So as I walked and I was almost getting at the end of the road, a taxi came from nowhere up, and then it was just standing at, let's say, 1 centimeter away from me. It was like if the accident had actually happened, he would have taken my legs first because the tire were not actually far from my legs. I stood, I was frightened, I was holding a book, my book almost fell down, and people were shouting that what was the driver thinking, why is he on high speed? Then one thing that really touched me was the fact that the driver looked at me angrily. He was very angry, and the people that were there talking and saying, even apologize to the girl or even take her to the hospital, maybe she's in shock. The man did not pay attention to what he was saying. He just looked at me so angrily for some minutes, and then he drove off. And then people were saying, oh, na December, this, they don't start. I went back home. Friday, we had an all-night here in church. And Saturday morning, we had a wedding. My cousin was getting married, and we were doing so many preparations. So when we came for that Friday night, I remember Papa was praying. He was praying for me. He said, a demon of suicide. He's casting the demon out of me. And when the prayer finished, I sat and told myself that actually it means it was not totally my fault that I was thinking of killing myself. It was something that was provoking me to think like that. He prayed, and then Saturday in the morning, my sister and I were going to the road. Out of nowhere, a bike was coming from behind, and then the bike almost hit me. She had to shout and pull me. And another thing again, the bike man stopped, and he turned and looked at me again angrily, like he missed a target, like the other taxi man. He looked so angry and angry. While people were trying to say, even apologize. The funniest thing is all those instances happened and people were saying the driver should apologize, but none of them were paying attention. They were very angry for the fact that it's like they had a target, but they missed it. So it passed. We went to the marriage. When leaving my 16 out to go to the reception at my 18, we were in a taxi. I was sitting in front with my aunts and my sisters were sitting behind. Then I don't know what happened. We only realized that we almost had an accident again. And since I was sitting in front, if that accident had occurred, I would have been dead because my head immediately hit the front screen of the car. And as it hit it, I felt a pain from here to my nose. I felt my nose was bleeding. But when I thought she was not bleeding, and I felt like all these accidents that are happening to me all this time, what is it? Is it because of my thoughts or is because of something else? So I just really want to thank God for the fact that the man of God is really in spirit, because he had no idea of all the things that I was going through. Neither did he have an idea of the thoughts or the accidents I had before that day. But he prayed for me, and he said he's canceling the demon of suicide that is trying to manipulate my life. And God being so kind and good, throughout all those instances where I would have had those accidents, I didn't have anyone, and I am here to testify of my life.
Can we celebrate Master Jesus? We thank God for your deliverance and for preserving your life.